was actually born at 321 East Bay Street.
Right. Okay, on the corner. Right.
Yeah.
321 East Bay Street.
Yeah, right there by Zero George.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. But the Grimkes lived in that house on Church before they moved up there.
And which house on Church is it again now?
87 Church Street. Pre-Revolutionary War home.
Okay.
It is now the Hayward Washington House.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
The museum has purchased it, and it is open for tours. And there is a piece of furniture in the front parlor on that property that came from the Edwards house that was over on Meeting Street, right across from the Williams Mansion. Used to be the Calhoun Mansion. That piece of furniture came from there, and the Antique Roadshow came to look at it. They said, "There's no way we can even put a value on this. It's just such a fine piece of furniture." People don't realize that Charleston was wealthier than New York, Boston, Philadelphia, almost double the wealth, because we had the cash crops. And of course, all of our wealth was built on the back of the enslaved people. All of it. Without the enslaved people, we would just be poor white farmers, honey. Poor white farmers, which is a struggle.
Right.
A real struggle.
Right.
So, now, in the early 1900s, just because you're a descendant of Hayward, that doesn't mean in Charleston you got any money, but I will tell you, in Charleston, you know who you are. And if you are not one of them, you will never be one of them. And his descendant in the early 1900s just lived down the street, just south, the other side of Trad. And he worked at the rice mill, polishing and packing up rice in 500-pound barrels and shipping it off. And he had a young son by the name of DeBose. And when DeBose was only 2 years old, his daddy died. And his mama had to take in sewing just to put food on the table. And as DeBose got old enough, he would go ahead and sell penny life insurance to the neighbors. Because I will tell you, everybody knew somebody was going to die soon. Whether it's a drug overdose or stabbing, there was some stuff going on. And everybody knew something was going to happen. So penny life insurance was something worth investing in. And he went around to different courtyards. And when he was in the specific courtyard, just to the west of the Hayward Washington house, he would go back in that courtyard selling penny life insurance. And that is where he heard and saw all this drama going on. The drama involved a drug dealer and this beautiful woman he had hooked on drugs. And this entrepreneurial man who was somewhat crippled, but he was an entrepreneurial man. His name was Goatman Sammy, a goat cart Sammy.
Sammy the goat.
Sammy the goat.
Smalls, right?
Yes,
Sammy the goat.
And he would go around buying and selling. He was a businessman, honey. Well, he fell in love with this beautiful woman who the drug dealer had hooked on drugs.
Best.
And he saw, and DeBose, the young man, saw all of this drama going on. In 1925, he wrote a book called Porgy.
Summertime.
And then in 1927, his wife helped him put on a play on Broadway called Porgy. Jenkins Orphanage Band played on Broadway in Porgy, 1927. While it was up in Broadway, Gershwin from New York went to see the play. He says, "Oh my goodness, this is an incredible story. I think we can make a musical out of this, a first American opera." And DeBose said to Gershwin, "Sir, you don't understand. You have to come down here and you have to be immersed in this culture to fully understand what this is all about." So he was somewhat reluctant, but he came down to Charleston, he actually rented a little cottage over on Folly Beach where he stayed. He would attend the black churches there in the area, and oh, he loved it. He said, I can shout with the best of them. He just absolutely loved it. And so he got to understand what the Gullah culture was about. And he got to enjoy the music. And he and DuBose Hayward wrote the first America opera called Porgy and Bess. Now, it premiered on Broadway in New York City in the 1930s. DuBose Hayward said that would never be shown before a segregated audience. It did not premiere in Charleston until 1970. Now, what's wrong with this picture? Now, usually as I'm saying that, there is a tour guide that usually comes by in his bus. And I said, and that man who leads the singing at his church, it's over there by the College of Charleston, directly behind Grace Episcopal Church, he was in that presentation, that first presentation of Porgy and Bess. And then you got to get everybody singing. Come on, sing with me. Summertime and the living is easy. The fish are jumping and the cotton is high, oh so high. Come on, sing with me, baby. Your daddy's rich and your mammy's good looking. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Porgy and Bess.
Hush, little
Summertime.
baby, don't you cry.
You gotta get the people singing with you, honey. They will sing with you because they all know it.
Summertime.
They will all know it.
Summertime. Woo.